time.
Right now. Welcome everyone to another episode of Our Parents' Basement. Thank you for joining us once again. Hopefully all of our listeners had a wonderful Christmas and are getting excited for a wonderful new year. This is going to be the last show of 2018 and another year, another bunch of episodes of Our Parents' Basement. And as usual, we have lots to talk about. So let's get started. I am Philip, and with me this evening, we have some fine folks. The first is Charles. Charles, how's it going this evening?
Oh, okay, how you doing?
Attention. Good, good. Thanks for asking. Feeling better?
Yeah, feeling better.
Good. You look good.
I guess
you're looking glorious, son. You little pudding.
Don't know. Glad to have you along. And we also have Jason, but everyone on the show calls him Turf. Turf, how are you this evening?
Man, I'm well. I'm excited to do this again. I hate to see another year come and go, but let's celebrate it. Let's enjoy it. And let's bring in 2019 with fanfare and adoration.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, before we get started, I got to ask, Turf, how was your Christmas?
Man, I am not even done Christmasing.
Right.
Well, we've got a large family, and it's hard to schedule everybody together. So we've got Christmas this weekend as well. But so far, so good. Things are going well. The boy got a few games and Papa might have got a game or so. Yeah, things were good, man. We had a good Christmas. Everything was pretty low key. We topped it up had a day of family and enjoyment, and we made roast because everybody likes roast and nobody likes turkey. So we made three luscious, glorious roasts and fed a bunch of people and topped it off the cherry on top, just right there on top of the Sunday that is Christmas. We all sat down as a family. We curled up, turned the lights down low, and turned on the Christmas classic, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh. I thought it was Die Hard. It was a classic Christmas movie.
Yeah.
No, Die Hard may be. It may be a Christmas movie. I didn't watch it during the Christmas season, but I did watch Chevy Chase say, "Holy shit, where's the Tylenol?"
Where are you gonna put that tree? What's the line like?
Bend over, I'll show you.
I'll show you. You got a lot there talking to me like that. I was talking to you.
I wasn't talking to you.
I love that.
That movie. You watch it. It is one of the most quotable movies ever.
God!
And there's so many little things in that like aren't even intentionally funny, that are just like when they're going to get groceries and it's like, I'd like to give you, talking to Randy, or no, cousin Eddie, talking to Andy, or talking to Eddie. Randy is his name in real life. So anyways, talking to cousin Eddie, and I'd like to give the good kids a good Christmas. And he just keeps throwing dog food in the cart. He throws in like 5 or 6 things of dog food that it's never really referenced. Chevy Chase didn't even react or anything. It's just really funny stuff in that movie that just goes completely unnoticed.
Man, it sounds like a great way to end the first part of your Christmas night.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Charles, how about you? How was your Christmas?
It's okay. Finally got my Reddit Secret Santa gift, which I got.
Yeah, what you got?
I got The Adventures of Dino Ricky
for Nintendo.
NES.
Okay.
And some dog treats for Doc.
Cute.
They Google stalk you, or they stalk you on Reddit. Some people do. So post pictures of the dog. Got some cat treats for the cat. So got Adventures of Dino Ricky, dog treats and cat treats.
That's not a bad haul from a complete stranger.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently they're trying to get something else out, but that I don't know what that is yet. So,
I haven't even heard of that Nintendo game. Assuming Turf, you've played it at some point.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's really not. It's not the best. But for a gift just out of nowhere, it's not a bad game.
Yeah,
cool.
Like I said, it's not good. It's not bad.
I mean, it's a playable game.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it stands out and you remember it, or I do anyhow. I remember Dino Ricky, even though there's 700 and whatever games in the NES library. It's one that I can actually tell you what the game looks like. It wasn't forgettable.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I like the name of it too. Sounds fun. Well,
I also
Charles,
got
you have to
some.
let us know how it is.
I got some other stuff that Turf sent.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he sent. I got a box. It's got the stuff from our sponsor.
Oh, okay.
The Batman Returns, Sonic Unleashed,
Sonic 3.
Sonic 3.
I think was that it?
Yeah, for video game, I send the Miranda Auto Sensor XEE, which is a camera.
Oh, cool.
All right, full disclosure is I saw that at a yard sale. And I was like, I know a guy that might appreciate this. So pick that and the lens up for a song. So I just
2 lenses.
Oh, was it 2 lenses?
Yeah.
So I picked it up for a song and I dropped it in the mail for Charles. And you're not going to hurt my feelings if you say it's a piece of junk because I gave piece of junk price for it. But just in full disclosure. So, but I thought it might be kind of cool. And there was that slim chance that it was something.
Yeah, well, it's not something, but it's a neat camera.
Okay, there we go. That's all I needed.
When the light meter doesn't work on it, but that's expected on some of those old Mirandas. It's fine. Their distribution was based here in Chicago.
Of course, everything is Chicago.
Well, they're made in Japan, but neat thing about that camera when it was working, it wouldn't allow you to take a picture of your exposure was too dark. It would automatically shut it down so you don't get shaky photos and all that. So, which was neat. And my dad saw it. He got excited. He's like, "That's some Miranda Sensor XEE." At my old camera store I worked at back in 1970 something, the owner Mickey Woke, he bought all of the entire last of the stock in the country, and they sold them. So
interesting. And now you have one.
Yeah, now I have one.
Piece of history there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Teach a little family history.
Yeah. Very nice. Well, very good. Sounds like you had a great Christmas too. And as far as me is concerned, it was laid back. It was chill. We had some family over, had some friends over, open presents, ate a lot, played board games, played a lot of Smash Brothers couch co-op. That was fun. Gotta love that. And that's basically it. It was, Christmas as when you get older, and I'm assuming it's different when you have kids, but we don't have kids. So it was just kind of like another day off, only this time there was opening of presents, So I can't complain. It was good. It's a good Christmas and everyone seemed to have a good time. And before you know it, the new year will be here. And with that, we can kiss 2018 goodbye. And as is per custom in our parents' basement, we like to reflect on the year that was. And this year is no different. Our parents' basement is mainly a video game podcast. We love talking video games. And this year we're going to once again look at a year in review, focusing on the games we liked, disliked, and anything else in between, all in the year 2018. We have some categories to go over, and that's basically how this show's going to go for the rest of the duration. So I'm excited. I like doing this, and let's get started. Let's start on a high note. 2018 saw a lot of really, really cool stuff. So I got to ask everyone, what was your favorite game that you played this year that was also released this year? Charles, I have a feeling you're going to say you didn't play.
Charles was going to say nothing.
Yeah,
I took pictures.
Yeah, I didn't really buy any new releases.
See, this is going easily. So,
I almost bought a new release. I was thinking about getting I see on Reddit, people doing this gameplay of Red Dead Redemption 2. Is that the one that just came out?
Yep.
Yes.
That looks interesting. I may buy that one. So,
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, brother. My favorite game of 2018, and this is actually, there was a narrow margin because there's like 3 really good games that could possibly be, but my favorite game of the year was Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right.
I would absolutely say, Charles, if you do buy a new game, get a copy of Red Dead. It is phenomenal, and it will chew up a ton of time. Like, I don't know if I'm going to have to buy another game in 2019 because there's so much. It's so big, so expansive, so much to do. I've been playing it since I got it the day it came out, which was like October 28th, something like that. Now, granted, I don't play a ton. I don't have a ton of time to play games. I play in small little 30-minute pieces, little chunks. So, but I'm only probably 2/3 of the way done.
Okay.
That's it's there's a lot to it. There's a lot to play. There's a lot to do. You can, it depends on how you want to play the game. You can customize your character. You can customize your horse. You can buy new horses, get new tack for your horse. It's unreal the amount of things that you got to customize the length of your dude's beard, but you have to wait for it to. You can only cut it shorter. You can't immediately make it grow. You have to wait. So it's a neat game, and it's a lot of fun, and I would absolutely suggest it.
Awesome. So you're thinking you're gonna play that until for a good long while? Probably,
man. You know, I played it. I played the first Red Dead Redemption, and I did everything. I had it for the 360, and I collected flowers in that game because there was just so much. I just enjoyed the world. I enjoyed being in it. I enjoyed riding my horse around. I may or may not have named my horse John Bon Pony. Yeah, so there was, I don't know, there's cool stuff. There's so much fun. You can play dominoes in the game. You play poker. You can drink beer. You can do, there's so much to do in the game. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. I suggest anybody check it out. It was my favorite game of the year. Now I've got a couple that might be right behind that. Charles, if you are not into being a cowboy, I would suggest Spider-Man for the PS4. Marvel Spider-Man, whatever they call it. I don't know. It's Spider-Man. It's the second best game on the PS4. Probably third. It's probably behind Grand Theft Auto 5. But it's fantastic. It was the second best game of the year, and that's by a narrow margin. The freedom, the feeling of swinging through the city, the stopping crimes, you're moving on to the next area, and somebody's getting mugged, and you just break that up. It's a breathing world, and Spider-Man swinging through it from building to building. It's a blast too.
See that, Charles? You have options now.
Yeah. I play my PS4, but I don't buy too many games for it. There's so many games out there. I'm like, I just kind of get overwhelmed sometimes.
And that's absolutely the truth, man. There's so many games that are so immersive and so expansive. There's so many. You can buy a game and you can put 100 hours into it, and I don't have 100 hours to put into a game. I have like a year, so that's why I'm only 2/3 away. Maybe not even that far.
I was just at the game shop looking at to use PS4 games, like they had like the Dark Souls. I'm like, I heard people talk about that. I wonder who talks about that. Should I get that? I know how I must these games and how hard these are. Do I want to put myself through that? Maybe right now. I just finally got a PS2 AV cable for a component, so looks nice on HD TV.
That's fun.
Awesome. So,
that's something. Yeah.
So
cool.
What about you, Philip? What was your A+ #1 game of 2018?
It was a lot. There was a lot of good stuff there. But it's going to be a game that I'm sure neither of you ever heard of, which is cool, for the 3DS called The Alliance Alive. Probably haven't heard of it.
No.
That's okay.
Nope.
It's all good. It was just a good classic role-playing game. It felt like it combined the best of something old, something new, something classic, something fresh.
I really thought you were going to say Borrowed and
Blue. Borrowed and Blue.
Yeah,
I was going that way. Well,
it's a wedding.
Actually, near the end, well, I won't spoil it, but the creators of it, maybe like 2 years before this one came out, they had this game called The Legend of Legacy, and it was not very good. Like, it promised me all this cool stuff, but I was kind of let down by it. So I went into the Alliance Live with like low expectations. And as soon as I popped that little card in, like I was hooked. It has like a very, very fun and addictive and quick battle system that's also really rewarding because you like learn new abilities like on the fly, which is I think is just it's kind of a rush. So that's fun. It's not too long, a good 30, 35 hours, but there's like a new game plus. So in case you do want to play again, you can just start over, being all powerful. Tons of cool characters. Trying to think what else. Great music. It has a fun look to it. You can build your own, like, you create your own structures, which can develop your own weapons and armor and things like that. There's just a lot to do, but it never feels overwhelming. Like, I never felt like, oh, geez, I have to do this side quest, or now I have to check on my guilds, and oh, shoot, someone needs new equipment. Like, I never felt like there was just too much to handle. I was really surprised by it, and I think because I set my expectations so low, I enjoyed it that much more. So that gets my vote. Yeah,
Okay.
I was kind of surprised, like it wasn't like this big blockbuster thing for 2018 for me. A lot of people were thinking like Smash or Red Dead or something like that. But
I was really thinking you were going to say Smash.
yeah, Smash. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Uh-oh.
How,
Nothing bad.
Okay.
Nothing bad.
how did you feel about, and this is another one that immediately came to mind when you were going to say this. I thought you were going to say Octopath Traveler. People
Yeah.
really love that. How did you feel about that one?
I really liked it. The only thing I did not like about it was that the game kind of promises you like this freedom to play however you want, but you're really not allowed to play however you want because if you go off the beaten path, enemies are way higher level than you, and you really don't have anything to do other than to go the path that they suggest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
It gives you the option to go that way, but you're going to be punished if you try to go that way.
Correct.
So,
Other than that, though, I mean, it's a great game for the Switch. That one really surprised me too, because like it came from the guys who made Bravely Default, which I didn't care for too much. But this one is just like it has the look of a classic game, but it has the quality of life features and the polish of something modern. So that's it's a fun game. That's a fun one. I completely forgot about it that I played that this year. Good choice.
all right. Well, that's what everybody had for their favorite game. Let's go the other way on this. What let you down? What was your least favorite 2018 release?
Well, before I answer, Charles, did you play anything that let you down from this year?
From this year, no.
Okay.
I think for 2019, I'm going to get some new releases for 2019.
Okay.
If it comes out in 2019, there's one game I'm going to get in 2019 if it comes out.
What game is that?
Last of Us Part 2.
Okay. So we'll stay tuned for that.
That'll be a day one for me. I'm going to actually make a day one.
That's
you day one in a game is huge.
I played, The Last of Us original OG version, and that is an awesome game. The story is so deep, and Reggie doesn't like it, but it's such a great, fun game.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to Part 2, and so are like millions of other people out there. So
nice choice. Well, for me, you might be surprised by this. Y'all remember how like near the early months of the year, kind of around I think it was like late February, early March, there was the remake of Secret of Mana for the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's my pick for least favorite 2018 release because it was just first it was buggy, like the game would just randomly crash on you. There was no personality behind it. It was just kind of, it was trying to be like a fresh coat of paint, but the coat of paint was ugly. Like the game did not look good for a modern title. It just felt so soulless, like there was no love put into this project. And that after like the first couple of hours, I was like, I'm basically playing the same thing I played all those years ago on the Super Nintendo, only it's worse. and it just really, really, it was such a letdown because I love that game on the Super Nintendo. That one I can go through again. This one,
you're really disappointed in that one.
yeah, it was I was looking forward to it. Get to replay my favorite game on a modern console. Awesome, but nope, they just mangled that thing, and I think that at this point, Squaresoft or Square Enix, whatever you want to call them, they're only focusing on Final Fantasy in terms of their franchises now because the Mana series has fallen so far from grace, and the Saga series is so that's an afterthought. So I mean, it's almost like why even bother releasing this in the first place if you're not going to show any
right.
care
If
for
you're not
it.
going to give it the love, then why are you even messing with it?
Yeah. So that's my pick. Don't play it. Do yourselves a favor and do not play this.
No problem.
Yeah.
So they half-assed the port.
Basically, yeah.
Wouldn't it be that hard just to take the direct ROM and just convert it, and not have to spice it up and just have that the originalness to it? Would that have been better?
Maybe if they kept the original. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like they should have done something other than better. I use that term loosely. Better graphics. Like anything would have helped. I mean, have you guys played it back in the day?
I think I've played it, but I know what it looks like. So go ahead.
Yeah, I don't remember.
There's this one thing that everyone complains about. Every time you attack, you have to wait a couple of seconds so you can attack again.
Right.
If they got rid of that, made it more of like a good action game, that would have been cool. But no, it was the same game with all of its problems. Oh, there was voice acting. I mean, but what do you freaking do?
Right.
Yeah. But that's enough of that. I'm getting annoyed. Turf, how about you? What was your least favorite for 2018?
All right, my least favorite game that came. See, I don't play many games that are really bad, and I don't buy many games like the year they come out. I mean, I had a couple of exceptions this year, being Smash and Red Dead and Spider-Man. But the one that let me down the most, the one that annoyed me, the one that stole a piece of my soul.
Ooh.
That's a little dramatic. It really is not. I don't play many bad games, but was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Now,
wait, really?
Oh, stand by.
Oh,
I don't play Pokemon games. I don't like Pokemon games, and I had no knowledge of Pokemon. It's not my thing. It's not bad. People love it. It's just not my jam. The reason I don't like this game is because I also want to play Smash. But my son and I only have one Nintendo Switch. And for Christmas, he got, hey, you, or whatever, Pikachu. Let's go, Pikachu. And he's played it incessantly. Oh. And I haven't got to play Smash. So the game that I hate the most, come on, Isaac, let's play Smash together, man. We'll even do team battles. You don't have to fight me. You can fight somebody else. No, I'm gonna play Pikachu. I'm like, really, man? Really, Pokemon? Man. Really? So there we go. That's mine. I don't even know. It might be a great game. It might be a terrible game. I don't know. I haven't played it, but I hate it.
Yeah. I was thinking like, oh man, is it like, does it not play well? Is the encounter rate too high? Nope.
Oh no, he loves it. He loves it.
Just take it away from Smash Brothers time.
Yeah, that's exactly. It stole the Switch time.
Well, as long as he's happy, you're like, nah.
Yeah.
I guess. I love it. Well, now, like Turf mentioned and kind of like Charles mentioned as well, new releases kind of aren't our thing. We like to step back in time a bit and not necessarily go full on retro, but play things from in our backlogs that are from different consoles that aren't current gen. So I think everyone here, we all played some things that were not released in 2018. Charles, I'm including you.
Okay.
You have game this year, yes?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So out of everything you played this year, 2018, what has been your favorite?
I just started playing God of War on PS2. Just since I got
cool.
yeah, and having fun with that game so far.
It's a good choice, man. That's a fun series.
I found it at a thrift store at Goodwill for like $3.99.
That excellent price.
Yeah.
It sold a whole bunch of copies, so they are out there, man. But absolutely, that's a good one.
Along with what Maximo and Spyro, they're all like $3.99 each.
Oh,
Maximo, nice.
You know, and I've been playing my PS2 again since I got a cable for it again, got a working one again. So it's been fun.
That is probably my favorite console of all time. So
no,
keep on keeping with that.
The PS2 is your favorite? You've never said that before.
Surprise, surprise. God of War is a good choice. Like, I used to be kind of like about God of War, but I actually sat down and played it, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool.
I got the new one, I guess, on Black Friday for the PS4 version for, I think it was like $17 or something like that.
Dang, that's a good deal.
I mean, new at GameStop. I mean, it was a deal, so I went ahead and picked it up. It's taken the back burner for, I haven't played it. It's still in the plastic. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, well, Red Dead. So,
oh, yeah.
And I also just picked up an older game for PS4, Fallout 4.
Okay.
People love that game.
But, you know, I'm just started playing it today. So I just got it yesterday, so it's getting used to it.
Cool.
You know, it's like
I've never played a Fallout game. I don't even know. I know you come out of a bunker.
Yeah,
Same.
It's very, very open world so far, from what I could tell right now. So it's fun so far.
So God of War is your pick so far for, I mean, there's still a few days left in the year. You know, this could all change.
Like, what else did I play? That was fun. There's a lot.
If I had to pick something that didn't come out this year,
obviously
it'd be Red Dead. Be my favorite game I played this year. But if something that didn't come out this year was Cuphead. I've talked about it several times on here. It came out in 2017, so I'm not counting it for this year. I got it when it was on sale on Steam early last year. That game's phenomenal. It is hard. It's a run and gun shooter. It's lots of boss fights. It's old school Nintendo hard that'll make you throw the controller, but it is a blast.
Awesome.
It would probably be my favorite game of 2017. I don't know what else came out in 2017, but it was great. I mean, even for a download only title or, you know, a digital only, it's phenomenal, man. You cannot, I don't know. You can't, if you're not aware of Cuphead, if you don't know what it is, it was a pretty big deal, but it's like 1930s style animation. It's a gorgeous game, but it's like cutesy and whatever, but it is a super hard, super challenging game. It's fair, but it's very, very challenging, wrapped in this cutesy kind of bow. So that's mine. That's my favorite game that didn't come out this year that I played this year was Cuphead.
Cool.
Okay.
That's what I really want to try, but I don't want to get an Xbox One just for one game, you know?
Yeah. You got a PC.
Yeah.
I do have a PC. I keep forgetting. Do you think it could? This is kind of a toaster. I wonder if it could.
Yeah, I don't know. My computer runs it no problem, but I don't know how good my computer is.
Yeah, I don't know jack shit about that.
Now, for here's an Xbox One question: is there any games that are worth getting an Xbox One for?
No.
No.
Crackdown 3's coming out, and that kind of makes me want to. But no.
No.
Okay.
No. Funny little story. Like, a friend of ours actually bought an Xbone, and he never used it. And he said, "Do you want it? I'll give it to you for like $100." I'm like, "Oh, sure, why not?" So I cut him a check for $100, and I got it. And I looked at it, and I thought, you know what? Everything I want on this will be on the PS4. So why did I just? I said, well, you know, maybe I'll use it as like a media center, like put music and Netflix and Hulu on there, that sort of thing. Never did, and I ended up asking my brother. I gave it to my brother. He traded it into GameStop, and he took the credit and bought some games with it for me. So yeah, someone somewhere out there has an Xbox that was purchased from a Nashville GameStop. So have at it, I guess. Yeah.
I'm sure there's something. Like Sunset Overdrive is neat, and it's exclusive to that. I don't love Halo. Isaac uses it to play Minecraft. I bought one, I think for $100 from somebody off of a Facebook yard sale. And anyways, I brought it home, and I've got a couple games for it, but I don't ever play it. And he plays Minecraft on it. Nice.
Well, this is getting some use. Yours is getting more use than mine did when I had it. So, well, as for me, the best game I played in 2018, I played a lot of really cool stuff. Turf, do you remember maybe like 5-6 months ago, you sent me a picture of a couple of Saturn games, and you asked, "Hey, any interest in these?" And one of them was Shining the Holy Ark. Do you remember that at all? Yeah. Well, I played that this year, and that is probably my favorite game I played this year.
Oh, really?
Some really obscure dungeon crawling game on the Sega Saturn. I mean, it didn't really do anything special, but it did everything right. The right level of challenge, the right length, the right level of secrets, the right look and sound.
Sorry.
Girth, you said? Did you say girth?
Maybe.
I thought so. Well played. Oh, there it is. No. It was just, everything just felt good when I was playing it. But I think what stuck out to me the most with this game was that you can tell that the developers, Camelot, they really wanted to deliver something special. They put a lot of care into this game. Like, you look at games now as these big blockbuster multi-million-dollar ventures. A game on the Sega Saturn like Shining the Holy Ark, it shows us how much TLC, not the rock group, Charles, and you're about to say something.
Don't go chasing video games.
So, like, I spent a good maybe 40-50 hours with it, and as soon as it ended, I was kind of bummed. I had a blast with it. Yeah, that's my choice. Just some kind of obscure Sega Saturn RPG that was released about 21 years ago of all things. Yeah. So yeah, that was my pick for that one. And of course, as is always, we always have to go from the favorite to the least favorite. So once again, I have to ask a question. Well, Charles, is there anything that you played this year that you just absolutely loathed, hated this year from
not really.
Well, good.
There's very few games that I hate. So
maybe hate's a strong word, but maybe just like really just let you down or upset you or annoyed you.
Really.
Good. Well, that's good then.
I just like playing games that they're fun. They're fun. They're not. I don't know.
It doesn't stress me out too bad. If it's not a good game, like, meh.
I don't dwell on it.
Right. Yeah. There's some hits, there's some misses, but I'm like you. I don't stress about it too much, and I don't play too many games that are terrible. And if I do, they're kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
So my least favorite game of 2018 is Pokemon. Let's go, Pikachu. Yeah, it's the same deal, man. I didn't play anything that was just terrible this year, so I'm gonna have to kind of default to that it took away from time I wanted to play my Switch.
That'll be my least favorite game too.
There you go. Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you. Yeah, double team.
I hurt for you.
I've actually gotten better about not being so stubborn. Like back in the day, if there was a game that even if I couldn't stand it, I was so stubborn. I was like, I'm going to finish this. I paid money for this. I'm going to see this through to the end. But this year was kind of like a wake up call. I thought to myself, you know what? I have, a shelf of stuff there that I'm neglecting. And what am I playing over here? Something I'm not enjoying like at all. So I've gotten a lot better about, especially this year, about saying this is not fun, next, and moving on.
Absolutely, man. And we need to be an adult when you do adult type thing. When you're a kid, you probably got the Karate Kid for Christmas from LJN, and it's what you had. So you played it and you got good at it, and then somehow it's like Stockholm syndrome. You started to enjoy it, and now it's like you'll defend Karate Kid. I don't know why, but I will. I will defend it to the death. It's not a bad game, but like I said, Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
but that is the one where you start the hostage starts to love the captor.
Yep,
Just making sure. Didn't want the wrong mental illness, but anyways,
I love this show.
Me too. Isn't it a blast?
Always.
I forgot what we were even talking about.
We're talking about mental illnesses.
No, we weren't.
Tonight. No, okay, we're not.
Karate Kid, LGN, bad game.
Yeah, back up from Karate Kid, Stockholm Syndrome. I don't know. Oh yeah, when you were a kid, you just whatever you got, you played, and you played it to death because you weren't getting another one until next Christmas.
Yeah,
or until you scrape together enough couch money. Yeah, or a birthday, or you get enough couch money that you can put it together and buy a change or buy a game with quarters. But now we've got limited time. We don't, and we're adults. My time is precious. I don't have time to waste it on bad games. So I don't spend a whole lot. Like if a game's bad, I'm like, yeah, next. Red Dead's over here waiting. Spider-Man's waiting. I got good stuff. I have all these games that I could be playing. I could go out there and play Cuphead again, or I could play Mario 3. I could fire up Contra, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I've got all these good games. There's not. Life's too short, man. You can't be wasting it on bad games.
Oh, absolutely.
That's part of my reason why I don't buy too much PS4 stuff. I'm like, is this game good or not good? Or,
and this is kind of off subject. We're chasing rabbits a little bit, but I very rarely pre-order games.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to take a chance.
Yeah.
Well, really, I mean, a developer's got to prove it's a good game before I spend money on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'll buy one the next week. I'll definitely buy one when the price drops. But I very, very rarely. I pre-ordered Spider-Man, and I pre-ordered Red Dead, and I pre-ordered Smash.
Yep.
But all of those came through for me. I enjoyed the heck out of them. So there you go.
That's like the only reason I pre-order games is because I feel like the ones that I'm interested in will have limited print releases. So I figure, snag a copy. If it sucks, oh well. But if it doesn't suck, I have my copy. I don't have to worry about finding one in the future.
And see, with your niche tastes, and I mean that with the most love possible, you do have a very specific taste that most of the people don't. You love these obscure JRPGs that I've never heard of. You might not be able to find one if if it's a game that if you don't pre-order it. In my case, I will be able to find Spider-Man. I will be able to find a copy of Red Dead. I'll be able to find Grand Theft Auto because I play these big AAA games. They're going to turn up, and they're going to be, you get them for nothing because there's a bajillion of them out there.
Right.
So yeah, I can see where you would pre-order games, man. I just don't do it.
I don't blame you. Yeah. Especially like, it sounds like, well, we all know what types of games we usually like. And the ones that the two of you enjoy the most, they seem like they're available no matter when.
Exactly.
And where. Which I think is a good thing as well.
Well, like yours, you probably can't go to Walmart and buy whatever game you said was fantastic. You have to pre-order it from GameStop or pre-order it from the developer even. I mean, I'm sure there's some of the games that you have to pre-order online that they don't ever come to GameStop.
Right. I didn't even think of that. You're right. Yep.
So, I mean, you've got pretty eclectic taste, sir.
Yeah. That I do.
I don't. I'm over here eating McDonald's and you're having filet mignon,
Hey, I love McDonald's though. So
went to the doctor today. Can't have McDonald's anymore.
Russell said his New Year's resolution was to lose 15 pounds this year, and he only has 20 pounds to go.
That's exactly it, man. I'm
like,
I got on the scale and it said 1 at a time. So it was time to do something about it then.
That's good. I like that. Oh man.
They told me if I got
yeah.
any bigger, they're gonna have to take me to the sale barn, where they weigh cattle. So
The doctor didn't say that, did he?
no, that was the nurse.
Okay, I was about to say, jeez, be a bitch about it. It's like when you step on the scale, that big measuring part that they had to slide. They slide it all the way to the right.
Oh, bless her heart. The nurse, this really did happen. She puts it up and then she pushes it over there to 200 and then goes to the top one. I was like, 200 ain't going to do it, sweetheart. She clicked her over again. I said, yeah, there we are. And then clicked over. That's 250. That's 260. That's 264. Like, whoa, boy. Something to push back, old boy.
Just, twist the knife even more. Why not? Yeah.
So anyways.
Well, you look great. So whatever.
Man, I appreciate it.
I had to say, like, the least favorite game I played in 2018. It wasn't even like I didn't have fun playing. It just kind of left me feeling empty. You guys familiar with the Golden Sun series?
Yes.
Yeah. I played the one on the DS, Dark Dawn. It wasn't good.
Oh.
That series just is. It feels like there's so much wasted potential there, and they just keep repeating the same mistakes. And for some reason, I kept on playing it until completion. Actually, I finished it while we were in Dallas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, fun little story there with that. But yeah, not a good game.
Okay, now back on the upswing.
Yeah.
Something that came out in 2018 that just shocked you. Let's call it the sleeper hit. It came out of nowhere, but you enjoyed the piss out of it.
I got one.
Yeah.
It's called Deathmark. It's for the Vita and the Switch. Have you heard of it?
Nope.
Yep, that's okay. Think of it's a point and click adventure meets survival horror meets a little bit of RPG meets visual novel. So combine all those into a cauldron and poof, out pops Deathmark. The thing about Deathmark that just surprised me is just how damn scary the game is. The written word, that describes details of the way people, perish. That is the freakiest thing. Like, games these days have blood and gore and guts and all that, shock factor. The way this game scares you with its imagery and its stills and its writing, man, some scary shit was going on in that game. I could not stop playing it. And I played it on the Vita, a handheld, and it still was scary. So this is a game I might actually double dip in because it's also on the Switch. So I'm thinking about playing it on the big screen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it combined all those genres so nicely. And I was Christmas shopping the day I found it. I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, I'm already here. Might as well get it. And yeah, awesome stuff. So
I like it.
Yeah. Deathmark. Check it out.
Charles, you got anything? Or
Nope.
All right, fair enough.
I love you, Charles.
The one that snuck up on me, and the reason, not because of, I think my expectations were really low, and it just kind of came through because it was free.
Yeah.
This was a freebie. This was just a giveaway, and this was a side project. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Oh, good one. Yes.
Came out of nowhere. It was there's a game, Bloodstained, what's the Ritual of the Night?
Yeah.
Ritual of the Night is the full game. It was a Kickstarter several years ago from the guy that did Symphony of the Night. Is that right?
Iga. Yeah.
So anyways, this cat that did Castlevania Symphony of the Night's doing this other kind of horror gothic style game called Bloodstained. And they made this little side project that was like an 8-bit style, like old school Castlevania looking game. And it was, if you back the Kickstarter, it was free. And if not, it was like $10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was cheap. And this was just a little side action, a little teaser, a little, maybe even advertisement for the full game that's coming. And it was phenomenal. It really so much fun. Whether you bought it, whether you got it for free, you got your money's worth. It was a very good game. It was very fun. The difficulty was just right.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't. It gave you that old school Nintendo hard feel, but it really wasn't. It wasn't just punishing difficult. You know, you could finish it. It was doable.
You could, if you wanted Nintendo hard, you can choose like classic mode. If you wanted a more fair challenge, you could choose the other mode, which didn't have knockback and it didn't have like a game over. So there was something for everyone, and it had multiple endings, had multiple characters you can try. Those boss fights were just awesome.
Oh, that was, like I said, came out of nowhere. It showed up one day in my email, like, hey, here's your download code. Go play this on Steam. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I was hooked.
Yeah.
So just like I said, like the definition of sleeper hit. And it may not have been the big AAA title. It may not have been like this gorgeous thing put together, but it was a really good game, a really good time. And the price was right.
Mm-hmm. A friend of mine gave me a copy for the Vita, so I got to play it as well. And like, I played it when we were on vacation, and I basically, it was like vacation during the day, and instead of going to sleep at night, I played Curse of the Moon at night, and I played it and played it and played it. And by the time the vacation was over, I got all the trophies, did everything, and it was a blast. Such a good game. Good choice for that.
All right. We're now moving on from that. What, like, one moment, something that, like, in a game that you played this year just kind of really stood out to you? Something that made you go, wow.
I had one. It was kind of like it was a true ending I unlocked in a visual novel, but that's kind of cheesy. So does it have to be like, can it be a little different? Like, this is
Do
a
whatever
different
this is your podcast. This is our podcast. Do whatever you want.
I think my favorite gaming moment was when I took the plunge and made my own review website.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's been a lot of fun to keep up with. I'm having a blast with it. I can, write the way I want to. I could swear, so F you, Game Facts. Haha.
Fuck yeah.
And it's just been, it's mine. I can call it my own, and I don't care if one person reads it. I don't care if 100 million people read it, as long as I'm having fun with it, which I'm kind of like this podcast. I'm having fun with it, and that's what it's all about. So a little different.
With you, man. There you go.
A little different. How about you, Turf?
Get to do you. My favorite moment, it wasn't really a moment. It was more of a feeling. Like I talked about earlier, playing Spider-Man, the feeling you get when you're swinging through the city, when you're swinging through this model version of New York with actual landmarks. And I don't know anything about New York, so if somebody does, you can correct me. But it's like the layout of New York. You go to the east is this, to like over towards the west of this landmark at Central Park.
Cool.
The Empire State Building's this way. Avengers Tower is in there, even though it's not a real thing. But the Doctor Strange, his Sanctum Sanctorum, whatever it is, whatever his joint, his lair is in the game. But you get to the feeling of swinging through this alive city, and it made you feel like a superhero. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's one thing that game just absolutely nailed. It made you feel like you were Spider-Man, and that was, I guess, maybe not a moment, but my favorite feeling of, just like I said, this is our podcast. We can say whatever we want, right? But that's mine. That's my favorite moment, is when I really got good and I really got the feel and got immersed in swinging around as Spider-Man.
Awesome. Does that game have VR support? I
don't know, but that would probably make me piss my pants.
I just thought, like, that'd be a cool game to play on whatever the PlayStation VR is called. And I know a lot of games already have that. I'm thinking, you know what? That seems like the perfect game for that sort of thing. So, okay, if it doesn't have it yet, then yeah. Fly through the air as Spider-Man. That'd be badass. We're nearing the end of our year in review. Oh, hold on. Charles, any special game moments? I keep feeling you have gamed enough to
found a heavy sixer from my Atari 2600.
A who?
That's cool.
which is nice. Well, it's actually the Sears Telegames version.
A heavy sixer? What's that?
It has 6 switches and it's actually heavy. It's
made in America.
Oh, there you go. Bigger and more switches. That's the American way.
Farmed it off. It's made in Sunnyvale, California.
Sweet.
An Atari Heavy 6, the Sunnyvale is it was the first run. It was made in the first year of the Atari 2600, so it's a real piece of gaming history, man. Even if it's the Sears Telegame branded one, it was very early in the production, so that's super cool to have. That's just something to hang on to.
Yeah,
I love those like memorabilia pieces, just good for conversation and collection.
I would absolutely stab somebody if I could find one of the Nintendo Test Market deluxe sets in some of the big, especially in the Northeast. New York City, they had a Test Market where in Christmas of 1985, or was it 86?
Wow.
Christmas of 85. They released a very limited low serial number of Nintendo or NESs were out there, and I would love to have one. And this is almost the equivalent of that.
So how can you identify if it was like one of those instead of a regular Nintendo?
If you get on Nintendo age, those people are insane. And I say that with love because they're historians. They're, for all practical purposes, they are Nintendo or video game historians, and they've figured out what serial numbers came out in that year and at that time, and it would be just like a dream come true to have one of those,
And there's a list of those.
They're listed.
So like, this isn't something that Grandma has in her basement. These are
okay. I mean, that's a possibility if you if Grandma lived around New York City or maybe Chicago. I think things are kind of fuzzy on that where they actually released all the Test Market stuff. I know it was bigger cities, but it was definitely in the Northeast. Like if you're around New York City, New Jersey, Philadelphia, maybe. But I may be talking out of my rear end right now, but they figured out where they were released and talking to people that worked at Nintendo at that time, just got it down to where these things were actually released. And possibly if Grandma lived in that area, there might be one in her attic. But
sounds like you need a trip to New York City here soon.
I should check my 2 extra Nintendos.
That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. But anyways, that would be a big deal.
Was there anything you guys bought in 2018 that really just stands out for you? Charles, you mentioned that Atari.
I got half the Intellivision collection.
Oh, that's cool.
And one had like 40 games.
Yeah, you had that video. It's actually on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I've got like the Intellivision 2 system. I also got the Sears version of it, which a fine gentleman sent to me. Thank you again for that.
Was that me?
Yeah, it was you.
Oh, okay. Nice. Way to go, me. Perfect claws.
How about you, Turf? You find anything cool?
Man, the biggest thing, I guess, this year was probably this building. Somewhere to house my collection.
Yeah.
Going through a bunch of stuff and weeding out stuff I didn't want, getting rid of some things that I didn't need. Just kind of not necessarily paring down, but deciding what was important. And it's fun. I've griped and complained and moaned about moving all this stuff, but it's fun to move all of it because you get to go through it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
That was a big accomplishment, is reorganizing, redisplaying, and going like, hey, I forgot I had this, or man, why is this in this box and not on a shelf? And hey, there's my old Luke Skywalker, 12-inch figure. That's stuff like that. It was neat. It was fun to do. Now, as far as just games that I got, honestly, one of the biggest ones was last week, and it wasn't even a super expensive game. It was for our Secret Santa. Telly or Asa got me Gargoyles for the Genesis. And I've been really wanting that, and I've been eyeing it for years, trying to find it. and he came across with a copy of that, and it's a fun game. It's one of the better Disney games, actually.
Really? Better than like Aladdin and all those?
It's up there with Aladdin, if you ask me.
Wow. That's awesome.
I'd say it's definitely better than Lion King.
Okay.
Definitely better than Jungle Book. So it's definitely better than Tailspin.
Well,
it's definitely up there with like Aladdin or DuckTales. And
cool.
That's my opinion. It's a really good game. It's really fun. So if you get a chance and if you have the means, I would check out, because it's only like a $20 game. I just never did find it.
Yeah.
And Asa came through for me and got me that. So that was a big one. That was one of my, and I got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the Dreamcast this year. That was another biggie to check off my list. It's not a super expensive game. It's like $60.
Yeah.
But I found it at Retropalooza. And it's always fun to come home from Retropalooza with stuff, right?
Definitely. Oh yeah, know that feeling.
What about you guys?
Retropalooza was good to me as well. I mentioned that on our Retropalooza show. But one that kind of sticks out, like I was visiting the family in Cleveland, and I had some time to kill, so I just went into a used media store just to putz around while I was just wasting time. And there was a PlayStation 2 game there that I wanted for years called MS Saga New Dawn. It's a Mobile Suit Gundam role-playing game, and it was there. I was like, can I take a look at this? And it was complete, had everything. And if I didn't leave early from my previous engagement and had time to spare, I wouldn't have found it. I would have driven by that store, and now I have it. So
see, it's always better when they have a story attached to them.
Yeah. Like, it's not like a big crazy epic story, but it was kind of serendipitous, we'll say. So yeah, that's something that really stands out.
That's a good one. That's a good.
Yeah. Well, my friends, we have excellent timing. We are nearing the end of the program, and we are nearing the end of the year as well. It has been a great year for not only for gaming, but for our Parents Basement as well. I thank you guys for putting up with me for another full year. Talking video games for once a week is, it can be draining, I'm sure.
It's not bad. Come on, man. We all have a good time here. I don't think it's draining on anybody to do this. It's a blast. It's a responsibility. You've got to make sure you treat it with make it a priority every Thursday night to be right here live on YouTube. So
where else can you hear us, Jay?
I'll tell you what, if you enjoyed this episode of Our Parents Basement, you can check us out on YouTube. There's 123 other episodes for you to enjoy, and I believe they're right over there. They're over there. I don't know. They're on one side. Yeah, I think they're over there. Anyways, you can check out those. Now, the real jewel of this podcast is the audio only version. You can check us out and download us on any of your podcast capable devices. Use iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spotify, Tuned In, you name it, man. We're there. I think except for like Podbean, but they want me to pay for us to be on there, and I'm not really into that. So, yeah, we host with somebody else, so they want you to host with them if you're going to be on Podbean. So I don't even know why I'm giving them shout outs. So this other place, but yeah, Stitcher's a big one. Google Play and iTunes. Those are the big ones where people can find us. So check us out. Take us on a jog. Take us on a road trip. I listen to podcasts in the car every day on the way to work and on the way home. So be sure to download us and take us with you. We're fun. We're a good time. Now, if you want to interact with us, you can hit us up on facebook.com/OPB podcast. It's Our Parents Basement Podcast. We're on Twitter at OPB Podcast and Instagram at OPB Podcast. So there's a lot of chances for y'all to say what's up, to follow us, to see what's happening. And hey, you never know, you might enjoy it. So from the Our Parents Basement crew, the basement dwellers that we lovingly call each other, thank you for an amazing 2018.
Yes,
Looking forward to what 2019 brings, and I I'd like to raise a glass to y'all and just say cheers.
Cheers.
And it was a good one, man.
Yep. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you next year.
See you next year. Good night.